Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive on chaos and bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of your most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
Huh. Oh, would you look at that? We seem to be back with another episode of the Super Breakdown. You already know who we are, but in case you don't, in case it's your first time tuning in, I'm Power Maximus the Conqueror, aka the Red Wolf. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage. What is up, brother man?
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. You want to know why I'm feeling great?
Go ahead.
You hear that? Did you hear that? That is the sound of me popping the cork on a fresh bottle of Terramana tequila
I did hear that
as
actually.
I
Yeah.
pour me a glass. Yeah.
So,
As I pour me a glass.
so for all those
Yes.
that are new to
Yes.
the channel, know this means he's going to be in rare form tonight.
Absolutely. Fresh bottle of Blanco Terramana tequila. Any tequila drinkers out there, I highly recommend Terramana tequila. It's 100% agave. It's super smooth. 40% alcohol per volume. Listen, this is something that you can sit down, you can sip on, do whatever you got to do during the day, whatever. And you ain't got to worry about getting blacked out drunk. Next thing you know, you twerking on your office table somewheres. You ain't got to worry about that. It's something that's gonna get you nice and get you right. And by the next thing you'll be chilling. It's definitely a nice, good sipping tequila. Definitely a nice, good mixing tequila. I love it. It gets me through a lot of these shows. Um, on top of that, also W also gets me through a lot of these shows as well. Actually, W is what actually gets me to the point of being able to come up with the ideas and make all the designs and shit for the show. I leave the the getting information together. I do a little bit information gathering myself. I do a little research myself, but as if if you've been watching the show for a while, you already know Triage is the one with the knowledge and know-how. Truly, he's truly the hardest show when it comes to the knowledge and know-how on the characters in which we break down every week, Sunday, 7 p.m. We'll see you right here. So for the characters for today, and this is something that I failed to put out to everyone. We are doing a split show today. We're doing two characters. If you watched the show before, you know we do that sometimes. If there's just two characters that we don't have the time to talk about individually, we'll throw them together in the same show. Today we are talking about the I'm gonna say evil genius himself, Alex Wilder from the Runaways, Marvel's The Runaways. All right, and then the second character I'm going to be talking about is a personal favorite of my own, and I know he's a personal favorite of Triage's, Painkiller from DC. You've seen him in Black Lightning. Absolute savage. I feel like, don't hate me for saying this, but I kind of feel like Painkiller is DC's Killmonger in a way.
No, that's not inaccurate.
I hate to pit two strong black men against each other, but I definitely would say Painkiller is definitely DC's Killmonger. From the skill set to the knowledge, the intelligence, how they each acquired said knowledge and intelligence is very different, but still absolute savages nonetheless. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Alex. Start off with Alex Wilder. Again, this is a character that I didn't know too much about myself. You guys will hear me say that a lot in these shows. Um, it's a character that I really didn't know too much about until I dived in a little bit more. I definitely watched Marvel's The Runaways on Hulu. Great show. So I learned a little bit about him, but upon further research, there's more to him than meets the eye, big time. So let's get into it. As per usual, Lord Triage, take us away.
Well, the thing that I always thought was really funny was if you watch the Runaway show. Now, I saw a meme years ago of the cast of the Sandlot, and it said the caption
Hmm.
on it said, "Whether you knew it or not, there was one point in time where all your friends played together for the last time."
Oh shit! Don't do
Right?
that to me. Don't do that to me. Yep.
So that's one of the things that when I saw it, it kind of really hit home with me because my group of friends, they've split up, they're going their separate ways. Some people I still speak to, some people I don't. I tried my best to be, the bridge between them. But could you imagine if your friends if you had that moment where your childhood friends broke up and you could get them back? What would you do to get them back?
Honestly, along with you, this definitely hits home big time. And I tried very hard to also be that person as well, that bridge to kind of keep everyone together. Um, Damn. Uh I'd probably go to the ends of earth. I'd probably go to hell and back and
Right
try to get everyone back together.
now, for Alex Wilder, and we've seen two very different iterations of the character, from his comic book counterpart to his live action portrayal. Now, his live action portrayal is a little less I'm not even gonna say a lot less macadacious with the stuff he did.
Ooh, big
But it's
words.
yes. But his comic counterpart was very Machiavellian and the shit he was pulling off. All right.
Ooh, that's good. That's a really good way to describe him. Very oof. Damn, you hit home with that one.
Right.
Definitely, Matt. Yeah, you hit it on the head with that one.
So Alex grew up in a very well-off kid. Spent a lot of his time gaming, reading comic books. He's a self-proclaimed geek. One of the reasons why I fuck with the character and love him. But the one thing that this character was more than what anyone else ever truly understood was that he was brilliant. And there's nothing more dangerous than a young, inquisitive, brilliant mind.
Yeah, I can attest to that one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Alex's parents were part of a group called the Pride. Now, the Pride was consisted of 6 different groups of parents in the local area who were all very well off, very, let's say, political figures, not necessarily in politics, but very much control what was going on in their area.
They're pretty much in charge of the PTO, but to the extreme.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Now, Alex always thought of his parents as contributing members to society, only to find out that he was the son of a mob boss.
Yep.
Now, I mean, that'd be like you find out your dad's Frank Lucas.
He likes to think he is.
Right. So instead of being, disgusted or repulsed by this notion of his parents' criminal activity, instead he did everything he could to find out about this group that they were a part of called the Pride. And in the process of doing this, Alex actually found out that they were working for 3 ancient deities that were supposed to be destroying the planet and granting a certain amount of people into paradise who were serving them.
Yeah, if I recall, it's like they were only going to give pretty much had 6 spots, and they were going to transport 6 people to their home world to live in peace. The 6 people that pretty much like contributed the most to them or something like that, or the most loyal to them.
Right. Now, the other kids in the group who are the children of the other Pride members, they were completely oblivious to what was going on. So Alex subtly, let's say, discovered the base of operations for their parents and revealed their nature and what they were doing to the other teenagers.
Oh, look what I found! Ooh, surprise!
This is some Narnia type shit.
Mm-hmm. And now the thing that gets me is that he found this secret passage in his game room behind one of his games. Like, I guess that is like the one place I guess like the authorities wouldn't think to look. But like, I don't know, like they knew that their kid was a fucking genius. He was going to this high school for pretty much geniuses. All the kids, all the teenagers in the group were incredibly smart. So we're going to this pretty much this private school. They're incredibly fucking smart. They knew this. So I just don't understand why they would put it pretty much in plain sight of a genius child, of course, of all things, and a teenager who is also teenagers are rambunctious. They're rambunctious. Like, well, I personally, that just don't sit right with me.
I think it has to go with the fact that he was so enveloped in like the world of comics and gaming and everything that the average teenager would love, because he had it all at the tips of his fingers, that he was so quote unquote distracted he didn't notice what his parents are actually doing. And in actuality, he had figured it out on his own a whole year in advance.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was a whole year.
Yeah, he had figured out what his parents were doing a whole year in advance, and then spent the year plotting, planning, moving pieces, acquiring funds to do everything he needed to do. And then once the year came back around, because the Pride only meet once a year, and it got revealed that every year that they met, they sacrificed a child to these deities that they were worshiping, called I can't say
Uh,
it, the Gaborum.
Gamora.
Yes,
Oh yes, yep. I remember now because in the show when they said it, I was like Gamora. Oh, okay, no, Gamorum.
yes.
Gotcha.
So,
Now we're like so after a whole year goes by of him just sitting on this plotting and thinking and like that just I also feel like that right off the rip that says something about his character alone. He finds out that his parents are fucking criminal masterminds, and instead of being like, oh shit, oh no, he's like, dope. Let's see how I can spin this for me.
right.
Like I feel like that right off the rip should say something about his character. Like, oh no, this motherfucker, he's a little more than what they thought. Now, I will also say that the actor that plays him live action, I felt like they did like comparing the his comic book look to live action. They hit the nail on the head with that shit. Like he looks like very comic book accurate.
To his afro, to his glasses, to the clothes he wore. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yep. Now, the name of the actor, it always escapes me because he was also in shit. What was it? I was Teen Wolf.
He was.
He had like a he played before the Runaways dropped. He played in Teen Wolf. He was what season was it? It was a season where they had like the fear. It was like the physical embodiment of fear was taking over people's bodies, and he was in it, and he was like one of their classmates, and he was the first person that this fear had taken over, and like kind of find out who's like the mastermind behind the whole shit. So him playing an evil character is not it wasn't his first rodeo.
Yeah,
Um,
I do not remember
ah,
that. I want to say
yeah, it was
if
go
I'm
ahead.
saying it correctly, I want to say it's Renz Felice.
Yeah, Renzi Feliz. It was along the lines of that, but he killed it in both roles. He was very 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 believable as playing somebody who was dark and mysterious, and again he was also pulling the strings. I feel like this was the season that was right after the Dark Druid. I believe it was right after the Dark Druid.
So like season 5, season 6.
Yeah, it was definitely later on in the series. Um, but yeah, so he's not shy to playing, and essentially like the kind of mastermind, maniacal, kind of evil kind of character in a way, and so on and so forth.
Hmm. I do not remember that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again now. But
Yeah,
yeah, not.
absolutely. That shit threw me all the way off.
But yeah, but his whole thing was with his character is that he was a lot more. He was a lot more about his friends and trying to bring them back together. And it was supposed to be that they just generally stumbled upon this, and then the actions that he was taking to ensure everyone's safety, because he was the de facto leader of the group, and he was very reluctant leader to me. Like whenever he take
Mm-hmm.
charge to do things that was best for the group, like he always felt like they blew up in his face or they didn't appreciate what it was he was doing.
Mm.
So like that, I feel like jaded his character a lot the older he got, and then you saw that later on when you saw the older version of him that had become a villain.
Yeah, again, that also kind of made sense as I was reading through, as I was looking through. I'm like, all right, it makes a lot of sense now. Seeing the way he was, moving when he was younger. Now we see him because in the comic books, it doesn't like in the show. I don't think they if I because it was a while ago when I watched the show. It it hadn't gotten to that point where he just like completely betrayed them because it comes to a point where he does eventually betray the group. He ends up betraying his friends, betraying his group. Um, and in turn, he was going to be like, "All right, whatever, fuck the rest of the group." He ended up falling in love with one of the chicks of the group, the Asian character of the group, Nico,
Oh,
who
yes,
was pretty much
a
like,
witch.
all right, so in the show she was a witch. I'm sorry, no, in the comic book she was a witch, but in the show they had it like her mom was a super tech genius, and so the staff that she had was pretty much like the super high tech, multiversal kind of staff that pretty much can damn near do anything. That was like super fucking powerful. I don't think they
The staff
go
of
ahead.
one, the staff of one, and
Yeah.
it was a lot. It allowed her to manipulate the elements to an extent.
hmm Um. So he ends up, they end up he ends up falling in love with her, and it says, fuck the rest of the group, and in turn it's like, you know what, these beings are offering us paradise when they destroy the world. Fuck saving the world. Uh, I won't be on that train with them. My mom, my dad, me, you, and your parents. That's six right there. We're gonna go to paradise together, and pretty much fuck everything else. Clearly, her not liking that he just pretty much betrayed them. She's like, yeah, no, I can't do that. Um, and this ends up being his greatest downfall. The entities, right? They were just like, yeah, we don't like that. You're playing games. You're playing fuck games. We don't like these fuck games. So you die, and they pretty much fucking like melted him or like made him like spontaneously combust, killing him
Yeah,
instantly, damn near.
yeah, they
Right?
like incinerated him. Yeah,
That's fucking crazy. Again, he's only a teenager, and these entities just snapped their fingers and incinerated him. It's fucking crazy. Mm. Now in the show, we don't get that far in the show. All right, he doesn't die in the show yet.
correct.
Yeah, they were just so see I so they had 2 seasons of the show, and season 3, the way it was looking, the way it was leading up, season 3 would have been the season that he would have died. The way the story was playing out, he would have died like towards the middle or the end of season 3.
Well, they did kind of play with it because he got trapped in that like shadow realm, and they had to go get him.
hmm
So and then it's supposed to be like that time there, with him having basically had to relive like his worst moments, and then like the stuff that he had put his parents
Oh
through,
yeah.
like that, like really corrupted him. Because this is when Cloak and Dagger show up, and Dagger saw his hopes, and then when she saw his hopes, she saw him in that iconic picture, like they recreated of him having everybody's weapons, like staring out over the city.
Oh yeah. God damn, I gotta go back and rewatch that show. It was a good show. It was really good. It was really, really good. And then the cast, the fucking cast. The cast of the show was absolutely like it was phenomenal. Everyone was an amazing actor. They all had they all had really good a good list of credits underneath their belt as well. Especially my guy James Marsters, fucking who we all know and love him as Spike from Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh
Ah,
God, I love him as an actor. I feel like personally he could play a good Doctor Doom.
Doctor, he was Stein, the evil
Yep,
genius.
Doctor Stein. Mm-hmm.
Let's break up the Runaways real quick. So, for all those who don't
Right.
know, the Runaways were six teens, and they were composed of. Sorry, my voice is cracking a bit.
Nico?
Nico
No, it's
Minoru,
okay. It's okay. Mm-hmm.
who took the code name Sister Grimm, and was a budding Wiccan witch. Now in the show, he's like you said, it was more technical and technology opposed to being actual witchcraft, but they do lean more towards that because you can see
Yeah, I
her
saw that
tapping
towards
into
the
it
end.
towards the end. Because
Yeah,
I took it that
it was like right after the Cloak and Dagger, right after Cloak and Dagger show up. I think like her going through like because Cloak was teleporting them using like his powers, kind of like brought that out of her a little bit more towards the end. I definitely noticed that. I thought that was pretty fucking dope.
right
So let's see, you got Nico.
now. Well, the one thing I did think that was interesting was because
Mm-hmm.
in the comics, the staff of one is actually in Nico's body. And
Mm?
Nico actually has to cut herself and pull it out of her body. But because that was very self harm,
Yeah.
they went another angle with it. With the
Oh,
That's why she
I
had to
did not know that.
yeah, that's why she had to like prick her thumb on like the handle whenever she went to use it to activate it.
Oh, okay. I see what they did. I see what they did. So instead of her having to self harm in order to, get the staff out of her body, they did it as in like it needed like DNA recognition.
Right.
Okay. All
So
right. I didn't know that.
so it was technically basically locked, almost like so it was like locked with blood magic, but yeah, it just needed to
Mm.
be yeah. So that's what I thought was cool about that. It was one of those things like where they honored the comics but also kept it respectful and modern.
PG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I fucked with that. I fucked with that even harder. I'm going back and rewatching it now. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We have Carolina Dean, who is the half human, half alien hybrid.
That shit was crazy. That was
Yeah,
crazy. That was really fucking cool.
I'm not gonna lie, that caught me very off guard. Like I was, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like even the other girl said it. Oh, great, she glows and she's beautiful.
And it's just now, of course, when I first saw that, I had to. When I first like made the connection, I was just like, whoa, hold on. How did that work? No wonder her mom was so goddamn transfixed and shit like that. That man showed her the world.
Yeah.
He hit her with that intergalactic peni.
Like, listen, she was sprung. Her mom was.
Yeah, bro.
Oh
Damn.
god.
Started a whole cult around these people. Damn. Like, damn. Hit it with the shine like a diamond. Damn.
Hey man, when you got it, you got it. I guess.
That man is the epitome of the 50 cents. I got magic stick. That's crazy.
Yes.
Like,
Carolina's abilities allowed her to manipulate light energy and allowed her to fly, which I also thought was really cool.
mm-hmm. Yeah, she was pretty much like. I feel like all these characters were extremely powerful in their own right.
Mm.
Extremely fucking powerful in their own right. From Nico to Carolina, like they're incredibly powerful. And then
Yeah.
of course Alex with being a fucking evil genius as well.
Well,
Like,
he wasn't the only genius on the team though. Let's not forget about Chase Stein.
mm-hmm,
Chase
mm-hmm.
Stein, who was AKA Talkback, which was he was the son of James Master's character.
Dr. Stein. Yes.
Yes.
Yep,
And
Dr. Stein.
and everyone thought that he was just this jock lacrosse player, whatever. Only cared about his biceps and his abs. And come to find out, this kid was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he strived to try to be as good as pretty much as smart as his father. Like he damn near worshipped his father, just like his So I thought that was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, he creates these prosthetic gloves that he called sphistigons that allows him to manipulate heat and fire. At least that's the way it's described in the comics, that they can basically do that. I always took it as they were more solar energy blasts, but
Yeah. Hold on. I just realized something. I just made a connection earlier. I'm just realizing that I made a connection earlier.
go ahead.
Remember how I said that it'll be that James Marsters would play an awesome fucking Doom?
Yeah.
His character's first name was Victor. Victor Stein.
Oh shit, it was.
But wait, but wait, and but wait, there's more, dude. Who played Carolina's father?
Oh yeah.
Julian McMahon, who also played Doctor Doom in the original 2 Fantastic Four movies. That's crazy.
That's a valid point.
That's crazy. That's great. That is fucking great. I made a connection without even knowing I made a connection. Mwah. Fucking brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Chase Stein, our other Resident Evil genius, he actually winds up falling in love with another member of the team, Gertrude Yorks, or Gert. She's the quote unquote riot girl of the team, the activist, and she has a telepathic link with a dinosaur that was genetically engineered by her evil scientist parents.
But were they okay? So help me out with this. So in the show, they weren't necessarily evil. They were huge humanitarians, right?
Well, but this was the thing. None of the parents were necessarily inherently evil. Like even Alex's dad, who he wasn't necessarily a mob boss, he was a gang member, and he wound up going to prison for, I think it was murder, and that's how he wound up meeting his wife, who was his lawyer. So no one was necessarily inherently evil.
I believe, and their goals. Every one of their goals were they wanted to make the best possible future for their kids.
It just cost the life of 16 strangers.
Yeah, which is fucking wild. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd kill for my kid, but sacrifice is different. Sacrifice is different. I don't know if if I sacrifice, and sacrifice is a whole different thing. I don't know, but I would say my favorite character was Gertrude. Definitely was. She was my favorite character because she was the most reluctant, kind of, to really get into it all, and her connection. I'll be honest. At first, I thought she was Moon Girl at first.
Moon Girl.
I thought that was like I thought that was their way of doing Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Oh my God, no! They were they were arsenic and old lace.
Yes, so when I first saw them, that's who I thought they were trying to portray at first. Then of course, after watching them all, I'm like, oh, okay, this is completely separate, completely different. Because I was pissed off. I was like, whoa, hold on, Moon Girl is black, while Gertrude, her character was like supposed to be like Middle Eastern, and she was adopted by like 2 extremely Caucasian parents. Like, you know how there's white people, and then there's white white people spelled just YT.
See, this is Power Farrakhan coming back out again, ladies and gentlemen.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Listen,
not fully.
I feel him tapping on that door, man. That train ain't never late.
He's. I'm not knocking on the door a little bit. Yeah, knocking on the door a little bit. Absolutely. But like her parents were like super white, and they were pacifists too. Like they were super duper. Like her mom was like super like herbal remedies. Like you watch Big Mouth?
I did not.
Damn. For those of you who have watched Big Mouth, like her parents were like, what's her name? The little black girl's parents. They were super pacifist. Yeah, I can't remember her name for the life of me. Pretty much her voice actor was white, and then there was a whole social justice, the whole social justice movement, and her voice actor was like, I don't feel comfortable voice acting a black character, so I think you should give it to a black voice actor. That character.
I don't know where you're
Her
going.
parents are like super against Western medicines, super against violence. They were hippies. They're hippies. Why the hell did I forget the word? They were hippies.
I'm about to say, I thought you were going to say more like Scientologists, but yeah, that'll work.
A little bit. They were a little bit. They were like edging. They were edging that. But yeah, no, they were definitely edging that. I didn't realize until after I said it.
Sure you didn't.
What I had said. Yeah. And at that point, I already said it, so I got to rock with it. But it is the best way to describe what they were doing. They weren't full Scientologists, but they were definitely hardcore hippies. Hardcore hippies. Yeah, but but she was my favorite character. Plus, also, I like the fact that she can telepathically control a fucking dinosaur. I feel like that was pretty damn unique, and because the difference between her and Moon Girl is she doesn't control Devil Dino. Devil Dinosaur has his own personality. He does whatever the fuck they want. But Old Lace, she is like mentally and emotionally. So it's not just telepathically; it's also emotionally connected as well. So I feel like that, like I feel like that's like a whole extra. I don't know. I feel like that's deeper because whenever Old Lace gets hurt, she can feel it. She gets hurt, Old Lace can feel it. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah. So I don't know. I just resonated with that on a deeper level. I thought that shit was pretty dope. I thought it was so dope. But yeah, no. So we got Gertrude, we got Nico, Carolina, Gertrude. Let's not forget Molly's little Gertrude's little sister, Molly.
Yes, Molly Hernandez, who was adopted by the Yorks after her parents died in the series. Now, the one thing that I thought was interesting was, and this is one of the things like where they kind of completely tweaked this, because in the comics, Molly Hernandez is a mutant.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the copyright
issues. In the show?
How'd she get her powers in the show?
Yeah.
So I was always a little confused by that. I'm going to take it as, and this is just me reading the material, that the ship that Carolina's dad, Julian McNamara, his character was in initially, I believe that his ship radiated the rocks around the dig site where it landed. And then, like, when her parents, who were, what's what I'm looking for?
Hippies.
Molly's actual parents.
Oh,
they were what?
Archaeologists. No. Yeah, there were seismologists.
Yes. So when they were studying the rocks, Carolina's mom put that bomb inside their lab and it went off.
Oh.
And Molly happened to be in the lab that night. So for whatever reason, the radiation of the rocks somehow gave her super strength. That's one of the reasons why she survived the blast.
Mm. I thought her character is pretty dope too. Honestly, I didn't really find any faults with any one of the characters from the Runaways. Like any of the actual main characters, the teenage, actually a part of the group. I thought they were all written very well. They each had their own bullshit going on. They each had their own little side stories that they were dealing with. Um, you know, include of course including Alex, being the ringleader at the top. No, yeah, I really feel like they all kind of they all had their own stories, and it all combined came together very, very, very well.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, she was the youngest member of the team, and she basically acted as their muscle. And she was the Bruiser, aka Princess Power. That's
Yeah,
enough.
I thought that was so cool because like anytime they went against somebody, like she'd be there, and they're like their bad the whatever whoever they were facing at the time would just like completely underestimate her. Oh, ha 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 ha! Next thing you know, she's fucking lifting them up by their fucking leg, like like
Yeah,
it
and
was
talk that
it
shit
was so
down,
awesome. Yeah, you're talking that good shit. Now you're hanging by your damn pinky toe.
right? That was another thing that was actually really interesting to me, and that was one of the things like where it actually showed the disconnect for the character. Alex Wilder is the only one who did not choose a code name.
Oh wow. Honestly, that name's kind of that name is alone is fire. Alex Wilder. Yeah, I think the last name kind of really speaks for his tone. He's very much so a wild card. You don't know. He's so smart. You don't know what he's gonna do next. He's legit a wild card.
Yeah,
That's really what I saw his character as.
you know what? I'm giving him that nickname. Fuck it. I am deeming Alex
Wild
Wilder
card.
the wild card.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I fucks with that. Ah yeah. I fucks with that big time. Yeah. Wild card. Alex Wild Card Wilder. I fucks with that big time. Nico Sister Grimm. How do you say her last name? Minoru.
Uh,
Minoru.
no, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I fucks with that. Um, what did Carolina pick again? What was it?
Did I not say her code name?
No,
She was Lace in the Sky, if memory serves me correctly.
Lace in the Sky.
Yeah, like the Elton John song.
Oh, so her code name is 4 words.
Yeah, random, right?
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's definitely different. Like 2 words is the normal, but once you go over them 2 words, three's pushing it. Three's pushing it. But you know, four, that's a mouthful. Like, how am I supposed to say that shit over the comms? Like, we got some serious shit going on, and I'm supposed to be like, I'm calling everybody out. Yo, you do this, you do this. Hey, lace in the sky. By the time niggas could already be dead by the time I finish saying the name. That,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, nah, yeah, no, yeah. They're gonna have to work on that. Just call her lace or something, or sky. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of feel like that. Yeah, lace or sky or
she
sky
was all,
lace or some
she was
shit.
also known as LSD and Princess Justice.
Okay, LSD. Damn, LSD. Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
if you were looking at her when she was glowing,
Yeah,
you might have
she
thought
was
you were an
like that
acid
after a
trip.
light show.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. She was definitely. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna go with LSD. We'll go with LSD. We'll just
right.
go with LSD. Yeah. Um. But no. Yeah. So with Alex, after all this, happens, after he gets killed, and legit killed, legit dead, like legit in hell type dead, clearly in hell for betraying his friends and letting pretty much about to let the world burn type shit. So he ends up going to hell, like his soul's in hell, and all this entire time, Nico, she's been going out of her way, trying her best to try to pretty much try to resurrect him or revive him, try to bring him back to life, to no avail. And eventually she just says, fuck it, and she kind of just moves on. But the entire time, like years pass, and the entire time he's in hell. Now, let the people to tell the people what this motherfucker's doing in hell. Like he died dead, and is
as a
in hell.
doornail.
Dead as a doornail. It's donezo. My boy he's incinerated. He's dust on the ground, dust in the wind,
Dead. D-E-D. Dead.
dead. Like in Marvel, as you know, a lot of times when people is dead in Marvel, they're not really dead, because Marvel has a hard time with actually fucking killing people.
Unless you're Uncle Ben.
Unless you're Ben, unless you're Uncle Ben, then you dead. And you're not you and it's not like you just, if you're Uncle Ben, you just don't just die once. You continuously die over and over and over and over a motherfucking again.
Well, I got dark real quick.
I'm just saying they stay killing Uncle Ben. Like in what iteration of Spider-Man is Uncle Ben still alive and Peter is actually Spider-Man?
Where he was the Spider Carnage. Remember, searching me correctly?
But he's not Spider-Man. He's Carnage, Spider Carnage.
Well, I mean, technically, he'd have to be one before the other, but I see where you're going with this.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I give you that. But that's one. So, but no, yeah. So, what did this motherfucker do while he's in hell? Hell, Hell, the place with all the fire and shit. Hell, what is this motherfucker doing?
So, well, while he's in the HE double hockey sticks, he decides to train with the greatest military leaders and minds and some of the greatest criminals in history. This fucker is studying with Al Capone, Sun Tzu. He's having chess games with Adolf Hitler. Like, just he's talking strategy with Napoleon. Fucking like
Genghis Khan.
like the guys that basically came this close to either destroying, ruling the world, or were an organized crime figure, or people that he studied, learned, and got mentored by while he was in hell.
That is some shit. Like, even in death, he's still learning. He's the epitome of the word of the saying, knowledge is power.
And if knowledge is a power, then a god am I.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have a drink with you, but I'm a toast to that one.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud. Take a sip with that. Whoo! Terramana tequila, people. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, please sponsor us. But yeah, that's whew. Sorry, that one hit kind of hard. It's kind of warm now. But no, like that's fucking nuts. That is nuts. He just, in death, he's still trying to become as strong and as smart as he possibly can. Even in death. Like, that shit didn't stop him. He just, like, brushed that shit off his shoulders.
Like, wow, this is a shitty situation. Well, I'm going to make the best of it.
Like, to be honest, bro, I don't even think he saw it as a shitty situation. I think at first he was like, damn, I'm dead. Fuck. But then he saw he was there and was like, oh, oh, I get an eternity to sit and just shoot the shit with these guys. Some of the most like disgustingly brilliant minds of all time, all in one place at the same time. Fuck, that puts a whole new meaning to cracking a cold one with the boys.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking crazy. But now here's the worst part of it all. So now he's down there for years. But for him, it probably felt like an eternity. He's down there for years. All right. The team, they move on. Nico moves on. They end up, joining a bunch of different hero teams in the Marvel universe. Eventually, don't they ended up teaming up with the Masters of Evil? Like, how does that come about, if you know? And
So
why?
they basically get approached to work with them. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the Masters of Evil contain some of the darkest forces within the Marvel universe. We're talking Baron Zemo, we're talking Loki. I mean, these guys are the quote unquote worst of the worst. And in the process of being recruited, Nico actually falls for what's the character's name again?
Hellstrom, the literal son of the devil.
And he was actually helping and teach Nico more darker magic. He wasn't just teaching her, chants and spells. He's actually teaching her curses. And then he's the one who actually resurrects Alex Wilder from hell to be her teacher.
Now, imagine that your ex is dead. Your evil ex is dead for years. You spent years trying to bring him back to life to no avail. Eventually, you're like, you know what? He's gone. Let's just move on with life. We're going to keep moving forward. Just to have him resurrect to become your teacher? I kind of feel like that's a slap in the face.
Well, listen, I'd have walked up to her like, I got some lessons I can teach you with this dick.
Like, listen, all them years I've been deprived. I listen. I went to hell and back for you. I was trying to save your life. I went to hell for it. I'm back.
Listen,
Guess who's back?
I'd have came out that portal. I wouldn't even wearing pants. It would not have been a game.
He's like, the game is afoot. Come on now. Listen. I was in hell. I learned some things. Let me pass on some knowledge to you. Let me show you some of the things I learned. Turn around. Take it back now, y'all.
Rub it down.
One spell now, y'all. Oh man. But like, yeah, that's crazy. I would have felt some kind of way, and clearly she definitely felt some kind of way because he was still in love with her. Again, this is years past. She's moved on. She's like, yeah, bro, not happening. Fuck out of here, not happening. You're supposed to, teach me, magic and shit like that. Yeah, so he ends up teaching her, but she does eventually end up falling back in love with him. But at this point, he's just corrupt to the bone. He is evil all the way through. He spent years in hell with some of the most evilest masterminds ever. He's been throwing bones with the devil himself. So she's like, yeah, no, I can't. We can't. But now he goes on, like, to end up. He just says, fuck it. He ends up going back to kind of like doing the crime thing, like that his parents was doing. He ends up forming what he called them, the New Pride.
Yes, but hold on. So this is after the Runaways actually take down the Masters of Evil, because that was their whole point of actually joining
to take them down from the inside.
Right. And then in the process of doing this, they realized after the battle was over, Alex Wilder was gone. So
By
this,
he dipped out on the cover of War.
yeah. So this is one of those things where I was always curious, and I actually want to read this story because in my mind, if I know Mister Wildcard as well as I think I do, this nigga probably manipulated the situation just so he could disappear.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He was manipulating him even before he died. He was manipulating each and every one of them to come in contact with their powers and abilities just so he would be strong enough to take their powers and abilities to pretty much betray them and get what he wants in the end. So he was manipulating from the beginning. He's a master manipulator. So I definitely see that. I 100% see that happening. So honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna read this run too because I want to know. I definitely want to know. So they take down the master's evils from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
He dips out while they're fighting.
And then he winds up relocating in Harlem and basically establishes, as you said, the new Pride. And the new Pride was established of all former Luke Cage villains.
So of course, guess what ends up happening? He ends up coming face to face and blow for blow with with the Power Man himself, Luke Cage.
Backed by the immortal Iron Fist, Danny Rand.
Mm-hmm. For all you who don't know who Luke Cage is, first off, you should know who Luke Cage is. If you don't, I'm not gonna say you're racist, but you might be. Wow. Now that was Power Farrakhan speaking.
Said my father.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh shit. Oh shit. But yeah, if you don't know about Luke Cage, don't know about the Bulletproof Man himself, hit up our YouTube, the Super Breakdown podcast on YouTube. We just did an episode on Luke Cage a month ago, 2 months ago.
You want to know something interesting?
Go ahead.
I think that transition would be great from book to screen.
Ooh.
Because Luke is now a quote unquote not necessarily a crime figure, but he's
the boss. He's
yeah,
essentially Harlem's kingpin right now.
basically. So if everyone that he's had interactions with or has had a negative run in since, let's say, the last 4 years since Luke Cage went off the air, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's run afoul of all these people in this time, lo and behold, everything happened with Alex Wilder. He's a little bit more of a villain now. He's established. He comes in like, yo, you might be Harlem's kingpin, whatever, but I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you're not gonna stop me. So it's like I could see when Luke having a problem with that, and then here comes this person, here comes this person, here comes this person. Like, yeah, you wanted to deal with me, you got to get through them. Good luck.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I can also see them going to Alex as well. Like, yo, I'm not fucking with what Cage got going on. You come to me with a better offer. We work together. We take Luke Cage down, and you become, king of Harlem.
Right? Because if you fast forward in time, Alex will be pushing like 20 years old. He might be a little bit older. So it's like
Absolutely.
They might see him as like, this young kid, and then lo and behold, this nigga's beyond dangerous.
Yeah, because the actor, he should be about like 26 now. So that'll be perfect that they did run another season, one last season of the Runaways. Follow through with this storyline of him dying and stuff like that, and I had the third season literally be that. They can even throw a time skip in there. They can do like what mid season finale. Had the first half leading up to him dying, right? Mid season finale, whatever. Have him end up going through, and then the second half of that third season, have it be the time skip. Everyone's moved on and everything like that. Everyone's going through what they're going through. Blah 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 blah. Nico's already moved on. They're working on Masters of Evil and shit like that. They literally can run through that storyline, and at the end, have him become, have him go through, move to Harlem, and have it like a post credit for the last episode for the season finale of him moving to Harlem and shit like that. And then when we pick up Luke Cage, we can we can have that battle between him and Luke Cage as well, and that will be that in that way we can connect. That way we'd be connecting. And since even though Hellstrom, because Hulu did do a series on Hellstrom, they can connect it all right there.
Right. And you want to know?
Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. You finish.
Oh yeah, so they'll have the actor who played Hellstrom, because Hellstrom, there's two. There's a brother and a sister, Hellstrom. But the brother is the more powerful. At least in the show, there was two. So have that actor come back to play Hellstrom in the in Runaways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blah 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 blah. Go through, do all that. So that way, when they do end up have it lead into Luke Cage, you're connecting Hellstrom, you're connecting Cloak and Dagger, because Cloak and Dagger is already connected to Luke Cage.
It is.
Yep, because when he's sitting in the when Cloak is sitting in the cafe, he opens up a newspaper, and who the fuck's on the front page of the newspaper but Luke Cage? And he says, I hope that I can be as good as him one day. So Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways are already connected to Luke Cage. Luke Cage is already in that universe. Right there. Done. Right there. It fucking writes itself.
Right.
Fuck right itself. It's already been written.
And another cool little tie-in, because technically, if we have Alex do the whole thing where he dies, like they did in the comics, and he does get mentored by all those individuals, you want to know, since this is canon to the MCU now, you want to know who someone he could be mentored by?
Mephisto?
Killmonger.
But it's the thing with that is, I would like that a lot. But the thing with that is, Killmonger isn't technically in hell, because he's still on the ancestral. He's still in the ancestral plane.
True.
His soul went to the ancestral plane.
Right. But my whole thing was, if Alex Wilder was able to manipulate and learn about magic and everything before that, his soul might not necessarily wind up in hell either. His soul might just be wandering through the wasteland.
You know what, that they could do it that way, because again, it's some creative liberties is dope, because sometimes some creative liberties actually make a better story than what was already written than the source material. We've seen that multiple times already. So that I could get jiggy with that.
And I also would like to say, as I am one of those people who don't feel Njidaka was wrong, hashtag we are Njidaka's army. I don't feel he was wrong, but the countless people he had to kill, he had to have been punished for in some kind of way.
Absolutely. And like in Wakanda Forever, we don't necessarily see him in the ancestral plane actually. So, and technically she was using artificial heart-shaped herb. So who's to say that actually connected her to the actual ancestral plane?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, motherfucking ooh! That is sweet. That is sweet right there. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, that could work. That could work. They can oh my god. God damn it, bro.
And then,
Man.
and then he could talk to him like, yo, I've got some know-how. I've spoken to other Panthers. He's like, yo, if you go to the necropolis in Wakanda, there's a way you can bring me back. Like, listen, because Killmonger has been resurrected himself. Like, if you've got the knowledge and the know-how, and you know this shit to get yourself back up there, the event that you get summoned, you resurrect me, nigga. We can call this shit square.
And in Marvel, like I said, damn near nobody stays dead. Nobody stays dead in Marvel, damn near.
Yeah, Killmonger's out a few times, which we covered in an episode.
Absolutely, definitely check that out. Definitely check. I think Killmonger was like what our second episode of Black History Month. So that was only 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Wait, was it? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Damn, who did we talk about last week?
Our Black Queens.
Oh yeah, it was the Black Queens. Shout out to the Black Queens. Check out that episode too. That was a really good episode, really fun episode. That was really good episode. Yeah. So this month we did Static in the first week, Killmonger, Black Queens, and now we're finishing off with Alex Wilder and Painkiller. But yeah, that would be really dope. That would be really dope. That would be a really nice way. Because again, this actor, Renzi Feliz, he's a really good actor, and I would really love. Honestly, they all were. I would love to see them all be brought back into the MCU, of course, as the ground level alongside the Defenders and shit like that. Because we're getting Daredevil Reborn. They already confirmed that all the Defender storylines that came from Netflix are canon in the MCU. So since Luke Cage is canon in the MCU, Cloak and Dagger is canon in the MCU, and since Cloak and Dagger is canon in the MCU, so is the Runaways. It's like a chain reaction of everything kind of like working, all being canonized by its small connection. Because again, it was only that one scene and that split moment where Luke Cage is mentioned that canonizes it all, and it shows Michael Coulter's Luke Cage on that front page. So it's Michael Coulter's Luke Cage, thus it's canon. So they can definitely do it. Like Alex Wilder is a fucking evil genius mastermind, and I would love to see him in full-fledged in the MCU. Because again, they just finally finished casting Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Once again, I want to see where we're going is.
They casted the actual Fantastic. They have not casted, to our knowledge, to the public knowledge, have not casted a Doom yet. To public knowledge. So I like Alex. I say that to then say this. I feel like Alex and Doom would be very good together. Would be dangerous together.
I agree.
Yep, Alex and that would be a very dangerous combination. Because one, they're both essentially they're both magic users. They're both pretty much in the end they're both magic users. For those who don't know, yes, Doctor Doom is a magic user. Actually, remember the episode we did a long time ago, like season 1, where we sat down with Blaze Haram and did the Doom episode?
Yes.
I was finally able to clean up the audio, and it is on Spotify, I do believe.
Excellent. Bangarang.
Yes. So, you guys want to learn more about Doctor Doom? it is a long ass episode, damn near 4 hours
Was it?
of us just talk. Yeah, bro, it's like 3 hours and 41 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, long ass episode. I went through. I was like, "Yo, I'm not chopping this shit down. Whatever's in there is fucking in there. It's raw. That's a lot."
That's how having real niggas get together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
But then
check it out.
I was about to say. Then again, our episode with Milestone was pretty long too.
Oh
Excuse me,
yeah,
not Milestone.
that milestone.
Midnight Comics. Sorry.
That was pretty long too. Yeah, but go check it out. Shout out to Blaze and Rom. Shout out to the original level 7. So check that out. It's on Spotify. The Super Breakdown on Spotify. The episodes are old. The episodes that are on there are old. There will be a lot more episodes that are also older going up because I have been so super backlogged. I didn't think about putting everything up there as we went. So there's going to be a lot more episodes to come. So if you don't want to watch the whole video of the podcast, just give us some time. They're all going to be up on Spotify. Eventually, I'll catch up eventually. We'll catch up eventually. So before we transition, I want to give a shout out to a few people that have really been helping us a lot in our development as a podcast and as a show and as a soon to be conglomerate. I definitely want to give a shout out to Midnight Comics. Like our Midnight Comics episode was great. Our interview with Midnight Comics was great. Shout out to Lloyd who ended up jumping on to an episode with us about the Saiyan race. That was a really fun episode as well. But I also want to give a shout out to Lady Mandalore and the Room Full of Blurs, which is currently on right now. She started a little bit late, but you can definitely go check her out. Room Full of Blurs. It's actually happening right now as we speak. But you know what? Let me have them talk about their shows respectively.
Going on, everybody, Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchups. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Room Full of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
Again, definitely go check them out. Midnight Comics, they have their show. It is on Spotify. Indie Breakdown. I'm not gonna say that we inspired them, but I think we kind of did. They probably didn't. Tasha and Lloyd are amazing black minds. I'm pretty sure they came up with it all on their own. It was probably already in the works before we even started. But definitely check them out. They are amazing people. Highly knowledgeable. Midnight Comics. They have multiple comics that are out right now. Multiple all black characters like Soul, who has the power of the sun and has like 2 Egyptian god souls within him. Character, strong black female characters like Admani, who is far beyond a fire starter. Super geniuses like the Gray, who has pretty much built gauntlets that have the power of a black hole within them. Ridiculous stuff. They also have a manga series called The Unbeloved, which is really good. It's really, I like it a lot. It's not like one of those like short. It's not as short as a comic, which I really love, But it's really, really awesome. I think they just launched their Kickstarter for 3, or their Kickstarter for book 3 just finished. I do believe. Awesome. It's amazing. I personally love it. I definitely recommend it. Check them out, Midnight Comics, on Instagram, and you can find them at midnightcomics.com or .org. Check, and you can purchase all their comic books, comic book bundles, and merch all on their website. Definitely shout out to Lady Mandalore and Roomful of Blurs for giving people like us an area, an arena to really just be ourselves in, to be strong Black individuals, and being able to speak our minds. Because I don't know if any of you any other Black nerds out there know, but yeah, we were pretty fucking demonized back in the day, not too long ago. Pretty demonized back in the day. It wasn't cool to be Black and watch anime. It wasn't cool to be Black and read comic books. But now it is. Now it is cool. And I love it. I love the fact that she's given us an area in which we can really be ourselves in. And I love it. Shout out to Lady Mandalore and the Roomful of Blurs, again, which is currently live right now on YouTube and Twitch. So check it out, Roomful of Blurs. Now onto this second character that we have today, which is a favorite of mine. The man Painkiller. Oh my God. The way they set this man up in Black Lightning was fucking phenomenal. Out of the heroes and villains that we see in Black Lightning, he stood out above the rest. He stood out above Black Lightning, who was the showrunner, main character of the show. Stood out above Thunder. Stood out above Lightning. He stood out above the main villain of the show, Tobias Wells, who was, amazingly played by by music artist Crondon himself. Amazing. Crondon did an amazing job. Who was the other villain? The leader of the 100.
Oh, well, technically Tobias was the leader of the 100, but you're talking about the dude who was talking about Latavius, Lala.
Tattoo. Yeah, Lala.
Yeah,
Tattoo.
Man.
I think that, Tattoo Man. Yeah. Oh yeah. I love him as a character. I love the way he got played, and the way he was written. I loved it. It was awesome. And the fact that he slowly crept into psychosis by seeing the fucking the spirits of all the people that he was killed, and every time he kills somebody, they get their face gets tattooed on his body. Crazy. And shout out to the one, the only Miss Jill Scott for playing Blackbird. Right?
No, not Blackbird.
No, not Blackbird. What was the name of the character she played?
She was Lady Eve.
Lady Eve. Why did I say Blackbird? Who the fuck was I thinking of?
Blackbird was Anissa's other identity.
Oh yeah. Because she didn't want her dad knowing that she was running around doing vigilante shit, so she went by the guise of Blackbird instead of Thunder. Yes, Lady Eve. Oh my God, Miss Jill Scott. Yes. But yeah, but above them all, above Lady Eve, above Lala, above Tobias. Again, Tobias was absolutely mad. For me, Painkiller stood out above the fucking rest. Like, let's get into it. Break down Painkiller for me, brother.
So, in the comics, Painkiller had a bit of I don't want to say a one-off, but there wasn't so much dimension to the character. He's basically hired by a group that Black Lightning was having run-ins with to take him out. So he had lured Black Lightning actually to a crack house full of teens with the intention of killing him between a crossfight between himself and the police. Now, yeah, Black Lightning was able to not deduce, but get around the issue without having any mass casualties on either side, and was able to subdue Painkiller. But it should be noted that Painkiller is one of the few characters who has actually beaten Black Lightning in a fight.
Yeah. Not a lot of people not a lot of people know that. Now, who is Painkiller?
So if we're talking comics, he was basically just a hired mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing I thought that was nutty was Painkiller's look. Like this nigga had dreads down his back with blades on him, had gauntlets on his forearms. Like he was a very different looking character. All right.
Mm. Yeah, I've never actually seen his comic book appearance.
So basically, like
So
when we first see Khalil after he comes back from the ASA, that's pretty much the way he was dressed.
with the gauntlets and the locks. Because when we first see Khalil, he's he got he got the fade. He's a fucking track star. He got everything kind of going for him and shit. And then while at and again, I'm going off of because I haven't read his anything from him in the comic book, so I'm just going off the TV show, the TV series. While he's at a Black Lives Matter protest, or pretty much a civil rights protest, Tobias Wells sets up a shooter, sets up a sniper to pretty much shoot into the crowd to make them think that the police started shooting at him. One of the bullets ends up hitting Khalil in his spine, which ends up paralyzing him. And again, mind you, this kid, he was a straight A student, fucking top
Didn't
of the
smoke, didn't
class.
drink.
Yeah, didn't no criminal record of any kind. He was a track star. He was getting set up and ready to go to college for track, full ride scholarship, and then he gets shot in the spine and paralyzed from the waist down. No, it was from the neck down, right?
No, it was I want to say it was from his chest. It might have been the waist because like from what I took from it is that he still had the use of his arms, but I think it was just a
Oh yeah,
limited
yeah,
use.
because he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to roll himself in the wheelchair. Now while he's in the wheelchair, the bullet didn't directly hit him. The bullet actually deflected off of Black Lightning's lightning shield when he came to protect them. So he in turns ended up, slightly blaming Black Lightning for what happened. But Tobias ends up getting in his head, ends up getting in his ear, and this shit wouldn't happen if Black Lightning wasn't there. If Black Lightning hadn't showed up, you wouldn't have got hit by that bullet. Which ends up putting a battery in his back, and he's like, yo, listen, I know some people that can do some things for you. Get your legs working again. Get you back running. But you got to do something for me in return. You got to take down that motherfucker Black Lightning. Of course, Tobias do some very very disparaging racial slurs in there as well. That's just crazy, bro. I want to do a whole episode about Tobias.
I'm with it.
I think you would get a fucking kick out of that. Let me do a whole episode about Tobias. That
But I hate
because he
niggas.
got
That's the motto. Last name Wells.
because he got some quotables. He got they some racist quotables, but they quotables. So Khalil, slightly hesitantly agrees and ends up going into surgery, a experimental surgery that pretty much sets him up with the bionics. Essentially, it makes him pretty much fucking a cyborg in a way. I want to say Cyborg. I would say more like Deathlock, like
Yeah.
first form Deadlock, where he's more human than machine. I'll go. Yeah, I'd go with that. He's definitely more human than machine, and pretty much gives him the ability to walk, not just walk. Ends up enhancing his strength, enhancing his ability. Ends up giving him gauntlets that had needles filled with a neurotoxin that pretty much shuts down your body and pretty much kills you.
Well, yes, the toxin was actually was a byproduct of the spine, of the spinal enhancement. It basically caused his
Mm.
body to produce this poison, which, as they compared it to like a snake's venom.
Mm.
So just like how like a snake or a spider has venom glands that has to be produced and released upon attacking or feeling threatened, that's basically what he did with through the gauntlets.
Which which I found pretty dope. Next thing you know, like I said, he was like clean shaven. He had the Caesar. We end up seeing him coming back. Next thing you know, he got locks down to his shoulder. He got king locks down to his shoulders. There's denim, like no sleeve kind of vest thing going on, combat boots, combat pants, and these gauntlets filled with venom that he's able to just shoot. Just throws his arm out and he just fucking shoots them at people. So from there, he goes on this whole vendetta against Black Lightning, trying to kill Black Lightning to fulfill his end of the bargain. This and that, blah 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 blah. And now we end up, now here's one thing that I also didn't mention in the beginning. Before all this ended up happening, he ends up building a relationship and pretty much, ends up getting a relationship with Black Lightning's daughter, with Jefferson Pierce's daughter. Which one was it?
Yes.
Jennifer Pierce, who does eventually end up becoming Lightning. Let me take another sip real quick. Whew. It's very, very warm now. But so while he's still in love with Jen, he has no clue that her dad is talking to Black Lightning. So this whole time he's trying to kill his, damn near pretty much the love of his life, trying to kill her pops and shit. So from there, you're gonna have to take it away because again, I haven't watched Black Lightning. And even then, like what he was. This happens to Khalil in like the first season of Black Lightning, right? Yeah, all this happens in the first season, and we see him continuously come back, and we see him evolve all the way up to the end, which was a really fucking dope evolution. Oh my god, like that character progression for Khalil was sick.
Well, yes, because after he gets enhanced by the ASA initially, just the bias that wound up being injured. And when he came back from his injuries, the first thing he did was go right after Black Lightning. We got to see how he was faster, he was stronger, he was quicker. That his the spinal enhancement augmented his natural agility, and the fact that he was already a natural athlete and he was already physically really strong as a person. It just took that and enhanced it. And then we actually got to see that he was actually strong enough to punch Jefferson, aka Black Lightning, in the heart, and he hit him so hard and just stopped his heart.
Oh yeah, in the school scene, right?
Correct.
Oh, that shit was sick. That school scene was. I'm sorry. I'm just going through a lot of disappointment right now. As we're talking about it, I'm just going through so much disappointment because they did the show very dirty towards the end.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just dealing with my disappointment right now. Continue.
So after that, he basically gets recruited into Tobias's forces and becomes like he doesn't necessarily become a member of I would say he becomes a member of the 100. He basically runs down debts, collects payments, stuff like that.
So he ends up becoming like Tobias is kind of like I wouldn't say second in command because second in command was his sister. Was Tobias' sister? I'd say like fourth in command because there was Tobias, Tobias' sister. Then he had the Asian chick. I think she was Asian.
Talking about Cyanide.
Cyanide, yeah. Cyanide was kind of like his lieutenant or whatever. So Khalil becomes like slightly like just underneath Cyanide.
Right? And then between that, because the actual members on the 100, there are 100 actual gang members. So it's like they used to see like Khalil, like, nigga, you ain't nothing but Tobias' bitch. So like when niggas used to mock him, he had to check them and put them in their place. So I remember like he was collecting money from someone that owed him bread, and like the one dude mocked him. Like this nigga was so strong now he could grab the dude by the front of his face and lift him off his feet. He said, first and foremost, one, I ain't nobody's bitch. Second of all, the name's Painkiller.
Yeah, and then I believe he proceeds to pretty much mop the floor because they didn't like that shit. So they try to fight him, and he mops the fucking floor with them.
That happens later on.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused because he does it. He does the same shit. He does the same shit later on. Well, we'll get to that point. We'll get to that point. I'm getting ahead of the game just because, like I said, I'm so in love with the character that he becomes that I'm so focused on the character that he becomes and not the character he was in the beginning.
Yeah. So
now, like
Tobias begins to send him on. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're at the next part. I was about to get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Tobias begins to send him on all these missions. He starts to tell him that he has to take people out. He has to do actual physical hits on people, and like he doesn't have the stomach for it. Like he can't go. He just can't kill people. Like he's not an executioner. So it's like he tells the one person, and this is wild because the person he goes to warn that Tobias is gunning for him is the person that Tobias originally tried to shoot and wound up getting Khalil shot, which was Reverend Holt. Yes.
Yeah, the Reverend. The actor that played the Reverend. We got to talk about him real quick.
Go ahead.
He is. I can't remember his name. He's always playing a side character in every goddamn thing he plays in, but he himself has some major ass fucking acting credits. Correct me. Didn't he play Pinky? Was it him that played Pinky in the Fridays?
He was Pinky.
Yeah, he did play Pinky. Yeah, he fucking played Pinky in the Friday movies, man. Now we're seeing him that's what threw me off. I was like, I saw him up at the altar. I'm looking, I'm like, is that fucking Pinky?
It is.
Is that Pinky preaching? So I just had to bring that up because that shit gave me a nice good chuckle when I saw him as the Reverend. That gave me a nice good ass fucking chuckle. Yeah, as soon as I'm warning him, and pretty much that's when Tobias ends up getting real pissed off with Khalil. So again, like I said, I'm more traversed in the later episodes because again, like I said, I haven't watched it in fucking forever. Which damn, that might be another show I'm about to go back and watch as well.
Yeah. So since Khalil couldn't go through
the disappointment.
Since Khalil couldn't go through with it, Tobias basically gave him a warning. Like basically told him like, yo, if you feel some kind of way, you feel froggy, nigga, leave. They got into a scrap, and Tobias wipes the floor with him. Tells him, "You're gonna kill the Reverend. You're gonna kill your mama, or I'm gonna kill you."
Now, for those of you who don't know, Tobias Wells, think of Kingpin. Like damn near, he pretty much has the same powers as Kingpin. He's incredibly strong. Like he has enhanced strength, he has enhanced durability. Like this man can get shot, and this man can get shot and pretty much and come back from it. Yeah, this man can pretty much get shot and come back from it. Oh, what happened there? It looks your logo's gone, brother.
No, it's not on my end.
Yeah, my end, your logo's gone. Yeah, in the stream. Yeah, even on the live, your logo's gone.
That's weird. Nah, it looks
Hop out, hop.
yeah, it looks fine
Yeah.
on my end.
Oh, what just happened? Now it looks like I dropped you out for some weird reason. What the hell's going on here? What are you doing, StreamYard? Why are you acting up today? Why are you acting up today? We was in the middle of good conversation. We was going good, going strong, and now you want to start acting up. We're gonna take a quick intermission. We'll be right back after these messages.
Going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchups. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
And again, remember till next time, midnight is coming. And we're back. So yeah, like as I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted by connection issues, by technical difficulties. Tobias Wells pretty much has the same abilities, the same power as pretty much Kingpin. He's super, super, super strong. But unlike Kingpin, if you shoot Tobias, he has he gonna shake it off. He's gonna hurt him, but he's able to shake it off.
They got the same tailor as John Wick.
And he does have the same goddamn tailor as John Wick. I swear to God. Swear to God. So yeah. He pretty much tells him like, yo, bro, you gonna kill the pastor, and you gonna kill your mama, and you gonna kill whoever the fuck else I tell you that you gonna motherfucking kill. I made you what you are now. I made Painkiller. You belong to me.
And the wild part was, right before this, Khalil actually found out that Tobias was the reason he got shot.
Yeah, so that already was shaking his loyalty to Tobias. So, and I've correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that is what initially made him be like, you know what, I don't. Aside from his ability to like, you know what, I'm not really down with killing people, whatever. You know that alongside with the knowledge that he ended up gaining of that it was Tobias that had set up the hit initially. That rocked his loyalty to the core.
Correct.
So again, this character development for the character development for this character is fucking nuts. It's fucking wild. Now, me personally, I see. Again, yeah, you gotta look at it this way. Khalil was a kid who got set up with, had everything going for him, and ended up getting hit with one of the biggest, setbacks that an athlete or any person can be hit with. And he got offered a deal to get everything back, not knowing he was making a deal with the devil, or at
Niggas
least
should have
how
learned.
bad that devil he was.
Niggas should have learned from Al Simmons. Check out our episode on Spawn.
The plugs are crazy this episode. The plugs are crazy. So I can definitely I definitely understand where Khalil was coming from as well. It's like, damn,
I mean,
running
anyone
was my
could.
life. Yeah, absolutely. Running was my life. Running was the thing that was about to get me out of the hood. Because at this time, the 100 were running rampant across Freeland. Um, Black Lightning really what had him in Black Lightning in like what over a decade.
Basically.
So they had no hero to protect the city and shit like that. So he's like, nah, I'm trying to get up out of here. And he was in love with Jen, so he's like, and she was really, really smart, shit like that, but also very, very down to earth. So he's like, yo, like I'm trying to get both me and you up out of here. This is not where we're supposed to be. We're meant for way more than that. And then to have all that, your hopes and dreams ripped away from you. Now you're in a wheelchair. Can't do for yourself, really. You can't, you feel like a burden to your mom. You feel like the woman that you love ain't gonna love you the same no more. Feel like everything is lost. And you have this man who is has a reputation of being extremely powerful, has the finances, comes to you and says, "Yo, I can give it all back. I can give it all back to you." Like being a young man, everything just ripped from you, having a bunch of hate and anger and regrets and all these other negative emotions swirling around inside you. Yeah, he takes this deal just to find out that he's making a deal with the devil. So now Tobias wipes the floor with him, tells him, you're my dog. You do as I tell you to. I made you. I gave you back your life. You're gonna do what I tell you to do now. Where does he go from here? Where do you go from here? You know, you do as you're told.
Yeah, he was pretty much
At
putting
least you
the
try.
definition of an impossible situation.
Yeah, rocking a hard place, big time. So where does it go from where does it go from? Tell the people where it goes from here.
So after realizing that he can't do this, he basically confides in Jen about what's going on, and then she basically tells him like, "Yo, if necessary, like you got to leave, you got to go." So Tobias catches wind of this and puts a bounty on his head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure him and what ends up happening is him and Jen. He ends up talking to Jen. They end up deciding to run away together. So you know what,
Right.
fuck it, we just gonna get the fuck up out of here all together. Um, and she's like, where you gonna get the money from? So he decides to,
Rob
you
Tobias.
know, yep, continue, rob Tobias, and he plays his role. Runs down on 100's gang site and tells him, "Yo, I'm here. I came to collect early." You know, they play along with it. They're like, all right, yeah, that type fucked up, but I heard that last time I knew you was Tobias's bitch. And again, he hits him with that, I ain't nobody's bitch. Watch your mouth. And he's like, wonder what else I heard? There was a bounty on your head too. And that's where they get to scrapping. He mops the floor with every last one of them and takes the money and leaves. Now he ends up realizing that, like, fuck, like, he gets back to Jen sleeping and shit. They had the at the little hideaway or whatever. And he starts thinking, it's like, shit, like, I got a bounty on my head. This shit ain't never gonna stop. We're gonna be running forever. And he's like, I'm a track star, running is what I want to do with my life, but not like this. And so he's like, I got these powers, I got these abilities. fuck it. So he confronts Tobias. And needless to say, that doesn't go well at all. Like it ends up fucking like absolutely horrible, like the worst possible situation. Now, remind me again what happens, brother.
So he basically stands his ground with Tobias. Tobias chin checks him, and then proceeds to rip his prosthetics support off his spine. I believe he said it's something along the lines: if you cannot walk with the giants, you will crawl with the snakes. Not so.
Like I said, man, Tobias got the one-liners for days. One-liners for fucking days, dude.
Like, as this nigga screams in pain and rips the prosthetic off his spine, he crawls a few inches and he goes, "Well, you're not so fast now, are you?"
The fucking writing for that dialogue for that show was so fucking good, man.
You just drop back out and jump back in.
Yeah, I know. I saw. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'll tell you, your logo's not up anymore.
Am I back? I'm good? Nope, I'm not good. I'm not good. We'll be right back after these quick messages.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
Better. Power, you there?
I'm right here.
Oh, there we go.
What's up? All right, now I'm back. Yeah, apologize for those technical difficulties. It's giving us a hard time. I guess we're running a little bit later than we normally do. But with all this madness here. But yeah. The dialogue and the writing of Black Lightning was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I just, God, more disappointment. Oh God. So now he gets his spine ripped out. You know, he's in a hospital. He's in a coma, damn near about to die. Next thing we know, pretty much he ends up getting hit with another experiment by what was his first name? I know his last name was Odell, but what was his first name?
I can't remember.
Damn, I really can't remember. But yeah, Odell, who was actually the director, or at least in charge of the ASA and pretty much the experiments that were going on in Freeland, pretty much inducts him into the ASA and performs a litany of experiments on this kid and just soups him the fuck up. You thought the spinal enhancement was, made him a monster, made him a beast. No, they hit him with multiple enhancements, not just spinal, but they hit him with neural enhancements. His legs, his arms, genetic enhancements as well. So that neurotoxin that his spine ended up creating due to the first enhancement, they end up making it so that his entire body in itself can secrete that venom. So essentially, he has like the death touch.
You could basically shake hands with him, and it would be like the equivalent of a black mamba biting you in your palm 5 times.
I was just about to say 5 times exactly. Like, but aside from the physical enhancements, aside from the genetic enhancements, they alter his brain as well and pretty much put a fucking supercomputer. Like, you guys see the Matrix? You see where they download all the martial arts and shit into Neo's brain? That's exactly what they do to him. Exactly what they do to him. He now, coming out of this experiment, unwilling experiment on top of that, let's point that out. This unwilling experiment pretty much comes out knowing every possible form of martial arts in the known world and some unknown. I'm talking pressure points. I'm talking about sword work. I'm talking about this man is an expert marksman now. From all these experiments. But on top of that, the drawback to having all this is now he has a kill order in his head. He's pretty much being controlled by a computer. He's more machine than he was before, but this time including his brain.
Might as well be a Negro Terminator.
Yeah. Honestly, I think he could beat the Terminator.
Listen, man. I don't know. That's a big one. All right, I'm just saying.
That definitely is a big one. The thing about Terminator, like, all right, he can't use his toxins on him, but his fighting ability and his weapons ability, I think he could dismantle Terminator. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, not the Terminator from like T2 or anything like that. Not them like highly advanced Terminator. Not the motherfucker that was like all the like liquid metal. Not that nigga. I'm talking about like
yes,
Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator.
We're talking the 800 series.
Yes, 800, the T800.
About to say
not what? No, what was it? It was T2, and then the chick in the third one, I think it was. What was she? She was a T900.
I can't remember.
Or T1000.
The third one's not canon anymore.
The third one's not canon. Yeah, the third one's not canon anymore since the fourth or fifth one came out? I don't fucking know anymore. Salvation is the fourth one, and then the fifth one is the one that just came out with old Arnold. They didn't just come out, but it came out a few years ago. The last one that came out is technically 5, which makes 3 and 4 non-canon. Right? I don't know. It's fucking weird. They fucked that series up. Yeah. But yeah, no, he becomes an absolute literal killing machine.
But not only did they not only did they download fighting styles and weapons knowledge, they also gave him a master's degree in psychology, mathematics, and philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So he also
made him a super genius.
Yes. As they go quote Nietzsche and snap your neck.
Fucking, he start reading off pages from The Art of War as he's fucking putting 2 slugs in your back.
And that was another thing. They gave him he also had extensive files on human anatomy. So he knew exactly how to hit you, to cripple you, to to cause internal bleeding. He knew what organs to cut, what ones not to.
Yup, he knew exactly where every pressure point in the body was. Knew where every major vein and ventricle was.
And also allowed him.
Go ahead.
It also allowed him to master certain techniques. Like, what was it? The 5-finger death punch?
Yeah, the essentially the 1-inch punch.
Where he would
the 5-finger death punch is the 1-inch punch.
Where he'd hit you and stop your heart, but he would combine his venom with it. So he'd touch you and he'd send the venom directly into your heart.
Mm-hmm. So he literally had the touch of death, literal touch of death. So now he's running around, and again they still put the same source code in his brain, but this time it wasn't just for Black Lightning. It was for his entire family, all the Pierce, Jefferson, his wife, Anissa, and Jen. And now again, remember he was in love with Jen. Jen's the love of his life. So that leads to a whole bunch of turmoil, fighting, fucking him squaring off with Black Lightning a few times, him squaring off with Thunder a few times. I think even Jen has to blast him through a window a few times.
Yeah.
Like, and he would take the hits and just get back up.
Because Jennifer thought she was dead. She went to his funeral. So Anissa and Black Lightning and their mother, Jefferson's wife, had actually all found out that Khalil was still alive. And no one thought to tell Jennifer.
No. They thought to tell Jennifer, but they chose not to. They actively chose not to tell her because of the person that he had become. And they knew that she'd go and try to, bring him back or whatever, this and that. And they were trying to keep her pretty much out of his reach, because they found out, because at the time, Jefferson's wife ended up working for the ASA, and she was specifically assigned. She ended up being assigned to Khalil and his, pretty much making sure that his abilities, that his prosthetics, that his fucking enhancements are working properly. Which I find out that was wild. That was weird. That was wild. But they pretty much, their whole goal was pretty much to keep her away from him, because they didn't want him to kill her, and they didn't want her to go to try to find him and try to bring him back and put her in even more danger. So they thought about it, and that's also what made it kind of worse. The fact that they knew and actively chose not to tell her. So, like, oh my god, like, just like we're literally just scratching the surface of this character. That is literally like what, just half of his story?
Yeah, we're not even through season 3, because then the ASA, they proceeded to send this nigga on all kinds of missions. The first fucking thing they had him do. The first fucking thing they had him do was to test the brain chip inside his head to make sure that he could kill without hesitation or without remorse, because that was an issue he had before. The first thing the ASA has him do is kill his own mother.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That was crazy. That right there, that definitely threw me for a whirl real quick too. I didn't think he was gonna go through with it.
Said identify Michelle Payne and execute with extreme prejudice.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be the situation that kind of like broke him and brought him back, but in turn he ends up following through with it.
But then the way he did it, like the fact that he knocked on the door, she opened it, she hugged him, couldn't believe like her son was back. Like, this is like, this has got to be a miracle. He looks her up and down. She's like, "What? You don't know your own mother?" And before she can even finish the sentence, he grabs her by the throat and just dumps his poison into her body.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, which I usually am, but that was the moment where there ends up being that personality split.
It's not really clear when the actual split of the personalities happened, but it's played a lot more on season 4, because season 4 you actually get to see that Khalil and Painkiller are two completely different people now.
Yeah.
Because at first,
go ahead.
I want to say at first you would have just took it that like Khalil was still in there, but Painkiller was just the program. Like he was just, it was the computer inside his head that was running. But it actually got to the point where Painkiller actually really was a whole separate personality.
And oh man, when those conversations were fucking amazing. And I love the fact that even though now, of course, when you get a situation where there's dual personalities go back and forth. It gets to a point where Khalil gets strong enough where he's able to, suppress Painkiller, but only for a certain, but just barely, just barely. But even though like Painkiller was suppressed, Khalil still had every last one of the abilities that Painkiller had. Everything, the knowledge, the physical ability, the powers, everything that Painkiller had.
The only thing he couldn't do was poison people.
Yes. Yep. And I remember because that was also. Go ahead.
No, I said, which in hindsight kind of doesn't make sense to me, but.
And that's interesting to say that, because that's how I was actually about to go into that. I feel like that was a conscious decision, because Khalil didn't want to kill. His brain shut that side off. Because to him, Khalil is not a killer. Painkiller is a killer. So when he was Khalil, it would make sense that power is not available to him, because he's intentionally cutting that off because he doesn't want to kill anymore. So to me, it makes sense on that aspect. Now, like I said, we end up seeing that split in personality, and not only is there a split, but there's a literal and actual war being waged on inside of Khalil at all times between Painkiller and Khalil.
Yeah, because as he put it, Khalil wanted redemption and peace, and Painkiller wanted to go to war with everything and everyone.
Yep, because like as the story progresses, you end up finding out that, like you said, Painkiller is a legit separate personality, and we end up finding out that he feels pain as well. So Painkiller has this. What was that?
And remorse.
Yes, yep, and remorse as well. So like it's not computer Khalil. No, it's personality and personality. Painkiller no longer becomes just the programming. He becomes a personality that has programming. And he states that every day that he doesn't fulfill his programming, he's in pain. And the only reason why he wants to kill the Pierces is so he's no longer in pain, so he can fulfill his programming and no longer be in pain. So I'm like, I like Painkiller is Painkiller because he's in pain. Which I'm like, wow. Like I said, the writing of the character, not just the dialogue, not just the description of the character, but the depth of the character is phenomenal in this show. Personally, I feel like he has more depth than every character in the show.
I'd say
way more going on to him.
No, I'd agree with that.
You know, with Jefferson, you got the balance between being a principal, Black Lightning, and a father. Anissa, you have the battle between, making her parents proud while also being lesbian and fighting for those rights as well, but also fighting for the rights of being black and the crime that's going on in Freeland. Jen, you have, all right, she's young. She feels like her parents don't, trust her, don't respect her or whatever, while also trying to learn these new powers and abilities, while also dealing with the stereotypical young teenage female, woman shit. I feel like the only person that comes close to having the same depth as Painkiller would be Jefferson's wife.
No, I disagree with that.
I don't know, just because that I feel like the fact of, all right, now she's tying between being a wife / also separated / mother / working for the ASA / being the wife of a superhero. I feel like she had so much on her plate. Plus, on top of that, her feeling insignificant while being the only non-superpowered person in a super family. That's why she ended up, taking the temporary powers and shit like that to give her abilities and powers and shit like that.
Listen, Odell got her strung out. She's out there sucking on that glass dick.
Bro, for
Oh,
real. She was a whole fiend, bro.
He might as well turn her into a crack addict.
Bro, she was a whole fucking fiend. She was a whole fucking fiend after taking the temporary green light. Right? That's what they call it, right? Green light?
Correct.
Yeah. Like, without that shit, she had the shakes, she had the mood swings, she had the health decline. She had all the telltale signs of an addict going through withdrawal. So that's why I feel like she is the only one I feel like that even comes close to having the character depth as Khalil, because she has so much going on, and yet I also feel like they downplayed the shit out of her a lot. Like, yeah, she was there. Yeah, she was, a strong part of the show, but I felt like she could have been a stronger part of the show.
Not without giving her superpowers.
True. They also could have gave her the same thing that they gave what's his name, Richie from Static, just the ability to be super fucking smart. She's already smart. Why not, give her like super intelligence or some shit?
Nah, I don't think that would have worked. I think that her being the unpowered one was the anchor for the family, because you always need someone without abilities.
Oh, absolutely.
And then
well, they had Gibbs, or what his name is,
Gamby.
Gibbons. Gamby. They had Gamby.
He said Gibbons.
I'm sorry, like I'm thinking Triple X and shit.
Jesus Christ. No. So what they should have did was, her, instead of her being so against the shit they were doing, she should have fucking sided with them and then been their team medic.
Yeah.
Like, she literally was a fucking brain surgeon.
Yeah, but I also see the reluctancy with doing that, though, because she was Jefferson's medic for decades.
right? But
That's why they split. She's like, I'm tired of if you're not gonna give up superheroing, I'm out because I'm tired of watching the man that I love come home half dead every day. And and that was a quote. That was a quote. Coming home half dead every night.
well, that's because she was calling him an addict, and he was addicted to the power and the rush. Meanwhile, she's out there getting ready to suck dick for green light. So never mind.
Oh no! But because that's actually Jefferson's argument, though. That's his counter argument, though. He actually said that. He's like, hold on, all these years you've been coming at me for being a fucking superhero and doing superhero shit, risking my life and shit, this and that. But here you go, getting hopped off on green light doing vigilante shit. You're a fucking hypocrite.
Definition of hypocrite.
Big time. Big time. And then she ended up with but baby, the stereotypical attitude, but baby, you don't understand. It does stuff for me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but I definitely do want to just shine some light on this show definitely, even though I feel like in the beginning it went a little bit too hard with the civil rights and Black Lives Matter. I feel like it went a little too hard, where it ended up drowning out the hero aspect and kind of drowned out the characters. But I do feel like it also shined a light on Black culture and the struggles that the Black culture that we have to go through. It definitely shed a lot of light on what it means to be a woman in America. Definitely shed a lot of light on what it means to be a Black woman in America. Shed a lot of light on what it meant to be a Black man in America. The fucking first season, the first scene of the show, Jeffrey gets pulled over and have to deal with, and ends up having to deal with profiling, racial profiling by the cops.
Like, yeah, because I'm sure the guy committed the armed robbery was a 6-foot Black man in a 3-piece suit with his 2 daughters.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I felt like the first season did go a little too hard with it, and it drowned certain other aspects out. But overall, the stuff that the stuff that it shed light on and the problems and that it shed light on are real, are definitely real. And so I definitely love the show. Quick side tangent. I want to give a shout out to Wayne Brady
For playing Gravedigger?
For playing Gravedigger. Random ass Wayne Brady. And that nigga definitely he choked a few bitches.
Oh my Lord.
Like I don't know why I forgot that he played the villain in the show. I don't know why I forgot that shit, but I recently, while I was doing research for this episode and shit like that, I came across, I was like, oh shit, Wayne Brady was in this. And even though his character was short and small, I felt like he did a phenomenal job.
No, he definitely did a great job.
I felt like, yeah, like there was no hint or sign of any other. You believe that he was a psychotic warlord with superpowers. Like, you believe that shit. I believe that shit. You didn't say, oh, it's Wayne Brady. Let's see if he's going to give us a line from Whose Line. Nah. This motherfucker was choking motherfuckers. He was shooting bitches. Like, zero fucks given.
Said that he believed.
So I just want to give.
He believed every enemy deserved a proper burial. So everybody he killed on a battlefield, he always buried them. That's why they called him Gravedigger. Yep. That right there just.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I just want to take a moment to shout out Wayne Brady because that I just thought him randomly popping up. Reminder, we haven't seen this motherfucker in years. I haven't seen him play anything else, do any other acting at all, and then he just randomly pops up as a villain in a show, a superpowered villain in a show. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Wayne Brady. I actually got to meet Wayne Brady one time. It was a split second, but I said hi and I shook his hand. Yep. Yep. I'll tell you about that later. I don't know if I told you about that, but I'll tell you about it later. Because when he came to the spot and did his show there, I caught him on the come out while he was leaving.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I caught him when he was coming out. I was outside. I was smoking a cigarette. I went to go back inside. They was bringing him out the back. When I went to go back inside, him and his entourage walked by. I'm like, oh shit, Wayne Brady. What's up, Wayne Brady? He was like, hey, what's up? And just kept pushing. I was like, oh shit. And I got one of his entourage who was like, was telling me, that he would stop and talk more, but they had another show to get to. But yeah, no, that shit was pretty dope. It was pretty cool. But nah, man, fucking the show was absolutely amazing. And now, Khalil, he has this whole. We end up seeing multiple times. We see him have this battle within his mind with Painkiller, and it's a very it's literally a scene from the Matrix where Neo is getting the martial arts downloaded to his mind, where he's training with Lauren Fishburne, Morpheus in the little dojo and shit. That's all it is. It's literally them chilling in the dojo. And I love the way that setting, that mindscape changes over time. Because when we first see them going back and forth, they're in the ASA training room in his mindscape. But as time goes on, and they start to come to more understanding, that mindscape becomes an actual dojo.
And that Khalil is dressed in white while Painkiller is dressed in black, representing the yin yang of the duality of his personality.
Mm-hmm. Fucking written so fucking perfectly. Written so fucking perfectly. But what got me more was the conversations that they were have. The conversation they have was even more so embodied that yin and yang. The first time we see the conversation, it's Khalil being angry that Painkiller is there. And over time, he begins to accept that Painkiller is a part of him. And that they are one, no matter if they like it or not. That they're going to have to figure out a way to get along.
Yeah, he basically, with the help of a technopath and Jennifer Pierce, he was able to free. They were able to free the Khalil side of him and lock Painkiller away. But Khalil had to let Painkiller out periodically because he had the one scene where he gets jumped by the Markovians. If he didn't let Painkiller out, he'd have got killed.
Yeah, exactly.
And memory serves me correctly, he even says Painkiller's he goes, you should thank me. He's like, if it wasn't for me, those Markovians would have killed you. And he goes, thank you. You ruined my life. He's like, nah, I think you got me confused with Tobias. He's like, you're a liar. He's like, no. He was like, all I've ever done is get you through the hard times, whether you want to admit it or not. He's like, all Tobias did was weaponize all your little ghetto anger, and I'm the result.
Damn. Come on, man. That back and forth dialogue. And shout out to Jordan Calloway for playing Painkiller and for playing Khalil. Being able to go back and forth being Khalil, being it like literally it felt like it was two different characters. Like he really nailed that shit of playing two different characters with two different motives and two different personalities. You felt Painkiller was completely different from Khalil, and Khalil completely different from Painkiller. You felt that shit, and it was oh my god, his performance was absolutely mwah, A1, amazing. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna go watch. Was it shit? What is it? The new show that he's in, Fire or something, on CBS.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna watch it because I got to see more. I definitely got to see more of his acting because he's an amazing actor, amazing actor, amazing young actor at that. Um, so
Fire Country.
what? Oh, Fire Country. Yep. So what I end up loving the most is where we end up seeing him later on. Um, CT. I think that's his name. TC.
TC.
TC. He was a technopath that Gambi ends up working with a lot, ends up mentoring him. Um, he ends up like, oh shit, yes, we may have locked Painkiller away, but he's still there and he's still fighting to get out. He still has this kill order to kill all the Pierces. Because I'm a technopath, I can speak to technology, and he's mostly technology. Maybe I can find a way to get rid of this kill order and bring Khalil back and not have to worry about Painkiller. Unfortunately, he ends up finding out the only way that he can get rid of the kill order is to also pretty much the kill order is attached to Khalil's memories of the Pierces. So in order to get rid of the kill order, it's going to also erase all his memories of the Pierces. And so there's a scene where Khalil and Painkiller are sitting down in the mindscape and talking, and TC pops in. Painkiller is trying to, go up one side of him and down the other. Khalil's like, nah, I invited him here. Let's hear what he has to say. TC, that's when he tells him, like, go listen. I can separate you two. I can get rid of the kill order. But it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you the memory of the Pierces. And that includes Jen. Mind you, Khalil, he still loves Jen. Jen still loves him. But Khalil ends up making the sacrifice in order to protect the woman he loves and says, you know what? In order to give Painkiller peace and also protect the woman that I love and also protect the family that took me in, took care of me, was there for me, had my back, I'm going to have to forget them. Now he gets rid of this kill order. Khalil disappears. And this is where the awesomeness fucking happens when it comes to Khalil. When it comes to Painkiller. This is my favorite fucking part of his story. So now that there's no kill order, Painkiller is no longer in pain. But they still have this hate for each other. So now they're going through this shit of like trying to find balance between each other. We are one. You're stuck with me just like I'm stuck with you, and we're gonna have to figure out how to fucking get along. And so eventually they're like, all right, whatever. So now Khalil runs the show, and when shit gets heavy, or as Khalil said, if shit gets real bad, Painkiller finishes. So now this is where my disappointment continues to come in. I know this is where your disappointment comes in as well. They were leading up to giving Painkiller his own series. And there's an episode where we find, they end up finding Khalil. Khalil's the only one that can help out with whatever situation that got going on. I can't remember particularly. I think it was to save Anissa's girl, Grace, who was her character again?
No. So that was during the Painkiller backdoor pilot. It was supposed to be that Anissa
Yeah, backdoor pilot.
was on her not her honeymoon. Yeah, her honeymoon. She was on her honeymoon.
Yeah,
She was on
yeah,
her
it was her
honeymoon.
honeymoon.
And
Yeah.
while she was on her honeymoon, her wife gets kidnapped because Grace was a metahuman, and the guys that kidnapped her were hunting metahumans and experimenting on them. So they happened to be in Khalil's bar when it happened.
Oh, you're right.
So like when Khalil was watching all this on the monitors, and then the second he saw Anissa, Painkiller took over.
Oh, okay. Okay. And in fact, he was in like some kind of like futuristic type fucking city, and that shit was dope too. But I'm still trying to remember who Grace was, like her character that she was supposed to play, like her code name.
So Grace Cho was an Amazon in the comics, and how
Yeah.
she was supposed to be the muscle of the Outsiders, and they were recruited by Batman to be his team and be the Batman out in the world in the event that something ever happened to him. Don't ask me why it takes 8 people to make up one guy who has daddy issues, a lot of money, and seems to fuck mad women, but whatever.
and has a child fetish.
Listen,
I'm not getting over that. Batman has a child fetish. He does.
we all know what he
Likes to
did to
get
all the
little
Robins in
children.
his Batcave. All right.
Not just Robin. We know what he did to Barbara too. Although it was air quote consensual.
Sure, it was.
How do you fuck your best friend's daughter, dude? Come on now.
I mean, she climbed upon him. She let it know what type of time she was on. Next thing you know, she's out there busting it open.
I get it, but still, like, nigga, have some morals. Where are your morals, sir?
He ain't got morals.
Bullshit. This nigga won't shoot a motherfucker, but he'll fuck his best friend's daughter?
How do we know he ain't shot a nigga? Batman wouldn't leave a body to be discovered.
No, he just leaves him in the fucking hospital. Niggas out there trying to sell a nick of bud, get beat up over a nick of bud, end up in a hospital with internal bleeding and brain hemorrhaging for selling a nick.
Makes you want to wonder what he does to the person who's human trafficking, right? But anywho,
right.
So yeah, that was Grace's thing. But in the show, they made it so Grace was a shapeshifter, and that because of her shapeshifting, it enhanced her strength and her speed and her durability.
Yeah, she was kind of like Cheetah in a way.
Yes. And because her maiden name, because she actually was kidnapped and sold as a sex slave, and that is true to her comic book counterpart, initially, she took the code name Wild because Wild was her maiden name before she got kidnapped.
Terramata took over real quick. I was about to say some shit. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that in the back of my mind. I'm gonna say it to myself. We're just gonna keep rolling. But that whole episode right there, that backdoor pilot was fucking fire. Like, if you're watching around the world, do me a favor and say fire in your language, because that's what the fuck it was. That shit was in fuego. Like, that, oh my god. Like, seeing how far Khalil has come after, after the kill order gets taken away, after he says, hey, I gotta leave, I gotta find I gotta pretty much do some soul searching and shit like that. The character development that happens within that time that we don't get to see, but we find out what happened. He pretty much has his own team now. He has his tech dude. He has his second set of muscle as well. That kind of keeps him and Painkiller in check. He has his own kind of underground lab underneath the bar. And the whole time, like, he's on his own quest to try to, like, completely actually separate him and Painkiller, completely separate them. Which I kind of feel like would be dangerous. Khalil's the only one that's pretty much keeping Painkiller in check. So I don't understand why he would really do that, because that's the only thing keeping He's the only thing keeping Painkiller from fucking murking anyone and everyone he see fit. That motherfucker, he was a murderous motherfucker. But like, I definitely copy that. Like, that whole scene, he's going through their pretty much Anissa was like roofied or whatever.
Yes.
Well, yeah, while she's back at the lab or whatever, he's going in to try to save Grace. We're gonna find out Grace already broke herself the fuck out. But on top of that, these good.
Anissa was roofied. Painkiller almost killed her with his poison.
Oh yeah, and so they were trying to hit her with the antidote.
Yes, because they'd actually learned a way to counteract his poison glands, so he could actually poison someone as Painkiller, and then Khalil could touch them again and take the poison away.
Yeah, and he was able to inject the antidote. I remember because it was like one of the Markovian dudes when it was going through the whole the whole white bitch situation where she had the ability to control people with like some kind of liquid metal and shit like that, and she was highly fucking racist.
Looker.
She was highly racist, but when she met Khalil, she was like, "Oh, you know what?
We'll keep you as a pet."
Yeah, she had a thing for him. She had a thing for him. He was like, "Bitch, I ain't nobody's fucking pet. Fuck out of here." Beat her ass, drag her back.
Here's another thing I want to point out real quick, because it was so true that he was two totally different people that anyone that entered Khalil's mind saw both of them, because Jennifer saw both of them, TC saw both of them, and then Looker saw both of them. Because even Looker was confused initially. Like, two of you? Oh, I get one Mandingo for the house and one for the field. He was like, oh, hell no.
But even Gravedigger didn't go into their mind, but he looked at him and he was like, oh, hold on. There's something off about you. I can't push you. Like, you got something else going on up top. And you got bionics? Oh, there's something different going on about you, bro. But yeah, that whole scene, it's Khalil. Like, he walks into the place and he's like, he like puts the sword down on the floor, goes into a whole meditative state, and now the whole conversation, he's like, bro, nah. Penga's like, bro, nah. Let me handle this. Let me do this. And he's like, nah, I can't afford to have Grace as collateral damage for you going wild. Listen, let me go in. I'ma suss it out. I'm gonna do my thing, and if shit get real bad, then you'll finish it. Painkiller looks at him, and that line is so fucking smooth. He looks at him dead in his face. He's like, I'll be on my best behavior. And then they proceed to whip every single guard's ass. And it gets to a point when Khalil's like, fuck. Yo, I ain't got time for this shit. Yo, PK, you're up.
Like,
this nigga stops. He said he looks up, about damn time, and just snaps. Fucking goes off. He finished it by fucking throwing the fucking katana that he had, throws like a fucking spear, tucks that shit, hits the bitch in the chest, and immediately just knocks her. Done. Bang. Done. And then like the whole heart-to-heart that they had at the end of that scene of like, yo, listen, like, at the end of the day, like, I trust you, you trust me. We're in this together. We got to do this together. We got to rock together. We got to roll together. You trust me, I trust you. And Painkiller breaks down and kind of like tells him like, yo, bro, I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of the killing. I'm tired of the fighting. This place blows up. I die, you die. You're done with this. I'm done with this. We just let it go. And he's like, I feel you, but we can do more good by rocking together and working together. There's another way out of this. He's like, honestly, I don't want to die. So let's rock together. And he's like, all right, let's take back over. They walk up on out of there. Like, Painkiller is an absolutely fucking amazing fucking character. He's, and I again, as I kept saying throughout this whole show, my disappointment is that they did the Black Lightning show dirty. They killed it off before it was ready to be killed off, and then they denied Painkiller the show that he deserved. Honestly, that's just how I feel about it. It was fucking. They built this character up to the point he started outshining the main characters of the show, and then just dropped it and just didn't let it go any further. So honestly, that bothered me. I love Painkiller. I love the way that they set him up. I would love to see more Painkiller, but unfortunately, I would love to see more of Jordan Calloway as Painkiller. But I know, unfortunately, we're not gonna get to see that, which actually bothers me. It makes me really sad.
You want to know where I'd love to see Painkiller pop back up?
Where?
Young Justice.
Ooh.
And they could have
That
Jordan
disappoints me too.
They could have Jordan Calloway voice the character and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Have him keep the same backstory, all that.
Yup. Absolutely. And if anything, they really could have kept the Arrowverse going. They could have just animated it all.
No.
One, it's less tasking on the actors, because they can literally come in for a week and do the voice roles for an entire season for about a week to 2 weeks, and it'd be said and done. Drop it that way. Plus, they could probably do more animated than they could do live action, because the budget would be way cheaper. Because we saw what happened when Flash started. Flash started what, second season of Arrow?
The first season of Flash coincides with the third season of Arrow.
Yeah, and that third season of Arrow was absolute dog shit, graphics wise, because their budget went into the graphics for Flash. It would be so much easier if they would to bring it back, but animate it. The budget would be way cheaper. They don't have to worry about the CGI team. They just have to worry about animators. Because the budget for CGI and the time it takes to drop CGI, as opposed as the time it takes, it would just be better on time, better on work ethic work effort, more so from the voice actors. And on top of that, it'll be cheaper. The budget would be way less. Because again, they already did it when they introduced Vixen, the web series that they did with Vixen.
Very true.
So I think that would be fucking fire, dude. I think that would be so dope. Again, the actors are still getting work. They're still getting paid for having to do less work. It's less physically straining. They could stop fucking around and try to get Ruby Rose to come back to play Batwoman. Because she does.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just gonna let that one fly off into existence. The only thing I really liked about Batwoman was my son who played Marquise Jet, who was the second Joker.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. But I mean, at least have her as a side character. But animated, they have the rights to Batman and everything. They'll be able to actually do a full-fledged like animated series for the Arrowverse and bring in all the heroes because, of course, they're animated rights to live action rights. So for some reason, there's a difference. But I just feel like they'll be able to do more that way, and I would definitely love to see Painkiller rock that way. And hell, they could probably connect it to to Young Justice. I don't know if did Kevin Conroy voice Batman and Young Justice. I don't know. He didn't. It didn't sound like it was Kevin Conroy. But yeah, no, yeah, that's what I would love to see. Any final words for the people? I know I do. For me, my final words would be support your local artists, show some love. You know what I mean? And on top of that, man, this is bringing an end to our Black History Month celebration. At the end of the day, it's some bullshit that it's only air quotes a month.
Oh my God.
Yes, I gotta let
the Black History Month thing is for them. You know what I mean by when I say them? I'm not saying any one group of people. I'm saying anyone who doesn't know the shit they should know. Now, us, we practice our history year round. Every time I turn around, I'm learning around about somebody.
Because you know what? And I'm gonna raise my glass to this. I'm gonna toast to this. Black history is American history.
Cheers, nigga.
Black history is world history. Because again, like I said, all the massive amount of black inventors, bro. I said the last episode when we were talking about the refrigerator.
Yes.
The refrigerator. That shit's used around the motherfucking world. Pillows, everything around the motherfucking world. The super soaker around the world. The Nerf gun around the world. Folding chair around the world. So, as this being the conclusion to Black History Month on the Super Breakdown podcast, I want to salute us.
I would like to say that if you ever find yourself in pain, unbelievable, undesirable pain, and a stranger comes along offering to show you how to kill your pain so you can no longer feel it, you should always be very mindful of when making deals with the devil. Because the devil shall have his due. He will always collect. And the first rule when dealing with the devil is don't.
Salud. Cheers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been another episode of the Super Breakdown, concluding our Black History Month celebration of amazing black heroes, strong black, super queens, and strong black super kings. To Black history, to world history, to American history. Salud.
Salud.
And that has been another episode of Super Breakdown. Tune in next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Same time, same Joker channel. Peace.
Peace.